Welcome to In Love with Horror. My name is AJ.
And I'm Christy, and this is our 2024 Horror Showcase, where we'll be sharing our top 10 horror films of the year.
And some of the best moments, performances, effects, and more that came from the genre this year.
So sit back and enjoy our countdown to the best horror film of the year.
Now look, y'all, and I feel like this has to be said for every, best of the year type of list, right? These are our favorites of the genre this year, right? So, our list would not look like your list. And hey, look, that's fine. That is perfectly fine. But, we got to put that preface in there so nobody's going crazy in the comments. I mean, it's going to happen irregardless, but at least we've said it at the top of this video. But look, you're welcome to share some of your favorites in the comments below. Also, and excuse me, y'all, because I've been sick a little bit lately. But also, we will avoid any major any major spoilers for any of the films we talk about in this discussion, just in case you haven't seen some of these films. So you can go in here with the peace of mind that nothing will be spoiled for you. So with that, you ready to get into it?
Let's do it.
All right, y'all, here we go. So we're gonna kick it off talking about our number 10 film. So this is the number 10. We're going backwards as always. Number 10, best horror film of 2024. We're starting with Never Let Go. So this film was by director Alexandra Aja. I'm sure I'm a terrible bunch of names. This whole showcase, I'm gonna tear up a whole lot of names. So be prepared for that, y'all. But the cast, of course, you had Halle Berry playing Mama, and then you had the two sons, Nolan and Samuel, being played by Percy Daggs IV and Anthony B. Jenkins. And this was a film that really surprised me.
Yeah, I think that this one made our top 10 because of a few reasons. One of those are the performances. I think the performances were very strong with this film. The little kids both did a really good job, but so did Halle Berry, and it was great to see her back in horror. I love a Southern Gothic horror film, and I think this one was just the vibes were there. So this one made our list for sure.
Yeah, the vibes were fully there. Some great twists and turns. The way the story unraveled was just super dope, and a really interesting ending that's thought provoking. It's the kind of ending where you after the movie you're talking okay, what do you think happened? This is what happened. You know what I'm saying? But definitely a great film, and that is our number 10 spot. So with that, let's go ahead and jump to our number 9 spot, and this is a film that won the bet most people have probably forgotten about because it came out way at the beginning of the year.
Yes.
And I feel like a lot of people just kind of didn't really talk about it or glanced over it, but we didn't forget about it.
No.
And that is Out of Darkness, y'all. Now, I know this is an international film that came out internationally a year or two ago, but it released, in February, I think, this year for the US. So this film, Out of Darkness, of course, is coming from director Andrew Cumming. The cast was Chuku Modu, Kit Young, Safia Oakley Green, Iola Evans, and Arno Looning. That was our main cast that we're following for a majority of this film. And this film was just super dope.
Yeah, I mean, this is another one that had a really good vibe to it.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful cinematography. It was a gorgeous film. The audio, they learned and created their own language for the film.
They hired a linguist to create a language,
which was
that's
so
crazy.
Dope.
That's fire.
I loved the tension, the build up, the suspense with this film. It made our list, but ultimately, I didn't like the ending of it. But everything else was really great.
Yeah, there's a certain aspect to the ending that I think a lot of people may or may not like. Surprisingly, I didn't mind it. But then there is one specific element to it where you're just kind of
But everything else was superb. I really enjoyed.
And you hit on the vibes, right? I was really surprised by just how creepy the film felt. And then just the different the score of it, the sounds of the audio, especially the drums, especially when you get those heightened adrenaline moments. The performances was crazy,
so good.
And everyone had a specific role to play. And I love the messaging in this, kind of, seeing who ends up taking charge and things like that.
Great messaging. Also a cast of all people of color, which was amazing to see as well.
Super dope. But yeah, I feel like some of y'all probably haven't even seen Out of Darkness or slept on it. Y'all got to watch that. That's our number 9 spot. Out of Darkness. Now let's go ahead and switch gears. We're gonna take a break from the top 10 list because we decided to do some best of categories throughout our top 10 just to keep it interesting, keep it fun, right? So the first best of that we have, even though this is a top 10 list for horror films, we want to talk about horror series. What was the best horror series of 2024? So when we do our best stuff categories, we decide to do a runner-up and then the winner, just so we can kind of, you know, at least give a little like visibility to, you know, another show or actor, actress, whatever, besides just the winner. So the runner-up for best horror series, we got Night Country.
Yes.
Yeah,
I love
showrunner
this show.
Issa Lopez. This was one that we got hooked on. And we were doing, you know, reviews weekly for this, and this was a big deal for our channel. Like we got a lot of views on our YouTube as well as our podcast. It really helped propel us this year. So shout out to Night Country for that.
Shout out to Night Country.
Yeah.
This was my first time being invested in the series,
Mhm.
just because it had those horror elements, and it was a female-led cast. I mean, I think there were barely any characters that weren't women, so that was great to see.
Yeah, they were like
And-
they were the mains. They were the main
Yes.
characters. Yeah.
Our showrunner Issa Lopez stepped in and under the banner of this of the night. What is it? True Detective.
True Detective. Yep.
Banner, and I think she did a remarkable job with the series. So much so that she's coming back for the next season as well.
That's
So-
dope. I'm sure a lot of y'all are gonna probably be mad at that, but we don't give a fuck. Like, we liked the show, thought it was good, so
It was great.
I'm on board for it. Even as a fan of the other seasons
Yeah.
of True Detective, I still thought this was a dope season. I love the, you know, the cultural messaging, the, you know, just shining a light on that culture. And then also, like you said, the horror elements. I was really surprised by that.
Mhm.
You know, obviously no spoilers, but I was kind of it was interesting where they took it, but I was still happy with where they took
Yeah.
it. I think everything worked, and this was a dope show. That's why it's our runner-up. But our winner, of course, for best horror series of 2024, has got to go to the third season of From.
From
And
amazing.
hey, look, okay, so first of all, it's from the showrunner is Jeff Pinkner. Of course, he's not the creator, but he was the showrunner for season 3. And I feel like season 3 was a great season.
Season 3 was a great season. If you have not watched the show, you definitely need to get on board. They've already greenlit season 4, so we're very excited about that. But I think From is just a really great show because it does well with balancing different elements of the show.
Mhm.
Even though they're kind of like Dragon, it's one of those mystery box shows. There's always like something piling on top of another.
Right.
And it keeps you engaged and hooked in. But I think overall, I mean, the performances are really great. The story is great. It's engaging, and you can't help but like tune in to see what's happening next. And so, I mean, ultimately, it was one of the best shows we've seen on TV this year.
Horror.
Yes, horror, and that's one of the best. It's not the best of all.
Oh,
said
right.
one
Yeah, I was about to
of.
say no. Hold on.
I said
Don't
one
get too
of.
crazy. But no, I agree with everything that you said. You know, we moved things forward a little bit with this season. That was kind of my fear.
Yeah,
Is that we weren't going to get a lot of new things, but I feel like we got a lot of interesting things and a lot of things to add to people's theories and whatnot.
yeah,
I
and
feel
that
like
was
that's
another. Go ahead.
I was gonna say that's what's part of the fun of From.
Right.
But yeah, go ahead.
But I'll add into that that's another show that we did weekly recaps for.
Yep.
So you can watch all of our reviews on this previous season that just passed, and
And we reacted to it too.
We did.
We actually reacted to the
and
episodes,
reviewed, yeah.
put reactions up per episode.
yeah,
I think the finale and the episode now before that, our computer was like messing up.
yeah.
So the video quality isn't good. The audio's there, but yeah, the video quality was jacked.
But we did it. We made it.
But we did it. It's up on the channel, y'all. So you can see how we felt and thought
But it was a great
as
show.
we're watching that. Yeah, dope
That's
show.
why it's the best series.
The best horror series of 2024, 100%. So let's get back to our top 10 horror films 2024. So we're going back. We're now at number 8.
Mhm.
So number 8, we got Cuckoo,
Yes.
which is a super dope film directed by Tillman Singer, cast, of course, being led by Hunter Schafer, who's playing Gretchen. And then the villain character was Dan Stevens. And I thought I felt like he was having a lot of fun with this role. But this was a film, we got a chance to see it in 35 millimeter,
Mhm.
which I feel like fits this vibe of this film like crazy good. But this was another film that surprised me this year. But I'll let you kind of
Well, yeah.
speak to it a little
Again,
bit.
it was a really good surprise for me as well. I was intrigued by the trailer, but I couldn't really determine what the hell was going on from the trailer,
Right,
which is
yeah.
always a great way to go into a film. This one was a neon backed film, and I feel like Neon Slate is always surprising us along the way. This especially
They
this
pick
year.
like real creative films and stuff.
Yeah, and this one was like you said, the vibes were on spot on with this one as well. It seemed like it could be in a different time, but not really. Like it was
almost had
very
this dreamy feel,
very
to a little
dreamy. Just an overall great time. Like it was funny at moments and scary and creepy at some
It's very
moments.
creepy at moments. Yeah, I really like the concept of this film.
The concept was great. I think this was a good year for reproductive horror in general. Like a lot of films that are on our list have some of that element and aspect to it. So I don't know. I just thought it was a really great film overall. And this was another one that was underappreciated, I think, as well.
Yeah, I feel like because it wasn't. Unfortunately, Neon pushed a lot of their marketing efforts behind Longlegs.
True.
And I feel like this film suffered as a result. But personally, I think this is better than Longlegs. Like this film, I feel like is firing on all cylinders. And I was also surprised by a lot of the emotional depth in this. Like Hunter Schafer, I feel like was acting her ass off.
Acting her ass off. So was Dan Stevens. I like Dan Stevens, but I think he's really good as a villain. I found his character to be like charming at times, but still kind of creepy and weird, and like it was kind of awkward. I just thought it was a really good representation of both of the characters.
Oh yeah, I agree 100%. But yo, that's our number 8, and that was Cuckoo. So jumping to our number 7, we got Mads. And they look French horror was going hard this year.
Yeah,
they was going crazy with the French horror film. But this was a French horror film that we really loved. So we had to give it the number 7 spot, coming from director David Moreau. With the cast, we had Milton Richet playing Roman. We had Lori Pavi playing Anais, who was kind of like his girl. And then we had Lucille Guame was playing Julia, his other girl. But man, like this film was so dope. It was of course we love like it's not technically found footage, but it almost has that feel to it.
It feels like found footage. It feels like it, don't I think
it?
that's probably why I love this so much.
Yep.
So this was one that was done in one take.
Yeah, one take. So the director did come out and say like, hey, there's no cuts in this movie.
No cuts.
It's real time, an hour and a half.
And how many times did they take to do this?
So according to David Moreau, the film that you see is the 5th take.
5th take. That's it. Yep. That is so wild.
Yep.
But this was one of those films that start off and keep going. Like it's on the gas the whole time.
The whole time.
There's no like slow moments. Even when there is a slow moment, it still feels like we're still going.
Yep.
I loved, like you said, it feels like found footage. I like that grittiness of the film. I love the performances, especially Lori Pavi, who played Anais. I'm not sure how you say her name, but she did great. Like, it's not zombie. I don't know what kind of movie.
Yeah, it's like a different take on the zombie genre.
On the zombie genre. It's kind of like what did he say it was? The director. It's kind of like an end of the world type thing. What is it?
Yeah, it's like a doomsday scenario type of thing.
Yeah. Right, exactly. And it's just wild, and I really love it. Now, this one was higher up on our list earlier we were talking about it, but it kind of shifted down. But it's still a really good film. And that's why I feel like it belongs in the top 10. Yeah,
this is a film. It's a must see if you like zombie films. The take that they have on this, I think, is excellent. Just seeing in one, because it's real time, like there's one shot and one take type of deal. You really get a sense of like the frenetic pace of like the consequences of things unraveling.
Yes.
And it's just really like that visceral feel.
The consequences thing is really important with this one because it's like the decision that you made makes such an impact
you see that,
on not just your life, but everyone's life that you come into contact with after the fact. So yeah, that was really good.
Yep. But man, Mads is dope, y'all. And that, of course, we had to give it our number 7 spot. So jumping off of our top 10, we got another best of category. So this category is best practical effects.
Yeah.
This was a great year for practical effects.
So good.
Practical effects. I feel like it came back this year really strong.
Yes.
So it was a lot of competition with this. So we'll start with our runner-up. And we had to give it to The Substance. The Substance. Now, I feel like some people might be like, "Oh, that's that should be the best." But hey, look, it's our list. You know what I'm saying? This is what we think. We're giving you our real thoughts on this, right? But so, runner up, The Substance. Of course, this was directed by Coralie Farge, but the practical effects was led by Pierre Olivier Person and their company. So they handled a lot of the what do you call it? The cast, like the modeling, all that like body horror element was done by them, and it was excellent. It was super gross, super nasty. It looked really good.
Yeah.
Even you at times you had to like look away from it.
I could not look at it. It was so disgusting, and that's why I was like, I can't take this. It makes your skin crawl. Like I can't do icky things, and there was a lot of icky things with this. Like, but it was so amazing that they pulled all of this stuff off.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree 100%. I was really not only impressed but surprised by where they went with the almost like a creature-ish type of designs and stuff like that.
So well done.
We won't get too much into that because that starts to get into the spoiler territory. But let me tell y'all, like, it's crazy. And if you've seen it, you know exactly what we're talking about. So we had to give it our runner-up. But the winner to us for best practical effects of 2024 had to go to Alien Romulus.
Yes.
So of course, coming from director Fede Alvarez, and it was the practical effects were done by the team that worked under Stan Winston back on James Cameron's Aliens.
Amazing.
How dope is that to bring back like OG people from the roots of the franchise? That's fire. That was
amazing.
And like it was just incredible what they were able to accomplish. And if you look at some of we'll put it on the screen, some of that behind the scenes footage, like scenes that you would ordinarily not expect to be practical effects were practical.
Yeah.
You know, like that like cocoon type thing. Like there's behind the scenes footage. You see the alien coming out of it. And it's like, wow, that's the movie.
Yeah.
But they made it.
Yeah.
The face huggers were all practical. Of course, all the xenomorphs were practical. Even 90% of a certain type of creature. Well, I won't get into it, but it's also done practical
which was
as well.
amazing as well.
It was just, man. Now, unfortunately, this film did have that, the deep fake CG recreation of a character. A lot of people really didn't like that. And I agree, it was not done very well.
It was not.
But, speaking just to the practical elements, it was incredible. Anything you want to add to that?
Well, no, I piggyback everything you said. Obviously, we both agree that this was exceptional. Looking at the footage and seeing what they created, it was just amazing. Even for someone who's not a huge fan of this franchise, I have to take my hat off to the people who created this shit because it looks amazing.
It looks so crazy.
So yeah, I mean, hands down, these were the top films when it came to practical effects.
100%. But shout out to everyone else in the genre this year that's doing practical because there's a lot of y'all. And I feel like y'all are killing it this year practical wise. We'll get into that more later on in the list. But going back to our top 10. So now we're at our number 6 spot. So our number 6 spot is going to go to Oddity. Now, it was directed by Damian McCarthy. The cast, of course, we had Carolyn Bracken, who was playing twin sisters, playing 2 roles in this film. Then we had Gwendolyn Lee playing the husband, and then we had Steve Wall playing one of the facility caretaker people. But this film was amazing. You're talking about a simple horror premise executed almost like perfectly. Like, man, the concepts, the scares, the creepy feelings. But I can't speak enough to a simplistic idea just working so well and creating just a good horror film.
Yeah, I agree with you. This one was definitely a lot of atmosphere and storytelling that was done, like you said, near perfect, honestly. There's not a lot to take away from this film. Like it's literally just super spooky, super creepy. And has some very scary moments.
It does.
It really immerses you from the beginning, and you just kind of just experience the unfolding and unraveling of the story. The performances were really well done. This was another. Where was this? This wasn't a. I forgot where it was from, but
I can't remember.
Either way, it was great. I loved it. That's why it's number 6.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about like I forgot exactly when in the year this came out, but I remember when I watched it, I was like, wow, like this junk is creepy.
Mm-hmm.
Like especially you watching it pitch black, like it's gonna affect you. But I also really like some of the concepts they explore with this, like diving into concepts that deal with like witches and things like that, novels like spirits and things like super dope where they go with this. And I'm excited to see more from Damon. Now I want to go back and look at Damon's other films as well. Oddities, super dope film. And that's our number 6 spot, like you said. Now jumping to our number 5 spot. This is a film that we both feel like does not get enough love, but we love this film. So our number 5 spot goes to A Quiet Place Day One, coming from director Michael Sarnowski. Of course, the cast being led by Lupita Nyong'o, who's playing Samira, and then Joseph Quinn, who's playing Eric. This was a film that I was kind of expecting it to just be like one of those like apocalypse, like nothing but action and just destruction. Right. And you get a little bit of that. Mm-hmm. But this film has way more emotional depth and heart than I ever could have imagined. And it was done incredibly well.
Literal tears. I was crying. It was so much emotion. And Lupita, she was amazing. Her and Joseph Quinn together, I thought, did a really good job. It was a good pairing.
Their chemistry was great.
The chemistry was amazing. I just felt like this was just so good. I mean, I was invested. Who knew I would be invested in a movie about aliens? Mm-hmm. But it's not a lot of alien action. But when
it's not a whole lot.
When you get it, it hits hard.
It's good.
It's really good action when it happens. And then again, the story. The story is what made this movie for me. And I could watch this again multiple times. It was just so well done.
Yeah, even on the rewatch, when we rewatched this, I was just so taken aback by the heart of this film. Like, again, we're not gonna get into spoilers, but Lupita's character's like goals and what she goes through in this film, and in terms of like, it's almost like the stages of griefs and overcoming certain elements in your life and reconnecting with your past. Like, there's so many different things there. I was just so just taken aback again by the heart of this film. But this film was so great, and it's also dope because this is the 3rd film in this franchise.
It is.
When we start to get higher in number in a franchise, you're like, all right, like you might start to fall off because the other 2 films are great, but this prequel was amazing. It stands toe to toe with the other films too. So, A Quiet Place Day One gets our number 5 spot. Now let's go ahead and sidetrack back to our best of categories. So the category that we're going to take a look at now is the best score, because I feel like there was some dope scores this year.
There were some really good ones.
Yeah.
We had, I didn't have a hard time picking my favorite, but it was still like, I don't know what the word would be, but it was just still like surprising, I guess, to hear so many good scores from horror movies.
Yep.
Most of the time it's like other films you expect there to be good scores from and not really horror films, but there were some really good ones.
And see, the thing is too, I feel like people don't realize is that, when you have a good score, like you may not notice it, but it really elevates the scene.
Oh yeah.
And it's almost like a subconscious level that you don't even realize like how impactful these scenes are with the vibe of the audio and the music and the score. But let's take a look at our runner-up. So our runner-up for best score, we got I Saw the TV Glow. The composer for the score was Alex G. I wasn't familiar with this artist, but apparently this is a very well-known artist.
Yeah.
When I looked up the album on Spotify, I was like, oh, this is like a massive artist, like 9 million monthly listeners. And so, but when I listened to Alex G's other, like their own, music, I was like, oh, this matches the vibe
like
of
the movie. Yeah.
I Saw TV Glow. But of course, that film was directed by Jane Schoenbrunn. Dope film, but the music in this film,
is exceptional.
Was super dope. But that score album, one of the tracks that's like crazy fire is there's a moment where a certain character is delivering a monologue inside of a planetarium. That track is so fire. Like, that junk is so hard.
It is really good.
It's really good, y'all. But check out that, because there's like 2 different versions of the soundtrack, if you will. You got the score one, which is done by Alex G, but then you have like the compilation artist album, because this
music,
this
yeah.
film also has a lot of like
Mhm.
artists, various artists that contributed, or they took songs and add to the film to create the whole tone of the film. But check out Alex G score, because that Planetarium track, that shit is fire.
Yes.
But the winner for best score goes to Humanist Vampire Seeking Consenting Suicidal Person.
I love the music for this.
The music's so good.
It's so good.
The film was directed by is it Ariane or Ariane Louis Cizé? I'm tearing that up. But y'all know what I'm talking about. The film's score was composed by, I don't know if it's Pilo or Pilo.
Mhm.
But man, I was so shocked. First of all, you saw this film before I did.
I did.
And you were like, oh, you should watch it because the music's really good. And
Yeah.
stuff. You were like, I don't know if you'll like it.
I don't know if you'll like
just
it.
watch it. And first of all, it was a charming movie. Like, I actually really liked it. It was really charming.
It was such a sweet
It had this like, coming of age vibe to it.
Yes.
And then with little hints of like Addams Family or Beetlejuice type of like Wednesday type of vibes to it. But the music
is,
and this is one of those like soundtracks that you can just listen to like on its own.
Yeah.
There's a main theme
Mhm.
that plays on throughout the film, and you can hear it throughout some of the main moments and tracks, and it just sounds like crazy
It
good.
sounds so good. I love this movie and I love this soundtrack. As soon as I heard turning up, I was like, oh yeah, this is number one for me. It was so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's super well done. Like you said, you could just throw this on.
You can.
Like it has I don't even know what like a chill vibe. But it just sounds so good. Like it feels like late 80s. Even like a cold winter. I feel like it's like a New Year's Eve. It's a perfect New Year's Eve track for me, like music wise. I think you should throw it on right now. Go ahead.
What are you talking about? Because this is how chill it is.
Yeah, it's how chill it is. Yeah,
it's super chill. But the score goes, because the film goes through a lot of different like emotions.
It does.
There's a lot of different like tones and vibes throughout the soundtrack, from like pianos to synths to, I don't even know what you call like that Addams Family Beetlejuice type of sound music, but it's got those like I don't even know, like the quirky type of track.
Yeah, that's a good way to
it's a dope soundtrack.
Sweet.
I was so
It's a
surprised
sweet
by
movie,
it. But that is by far the best score of the year for horror films. Definitely, if you haven't seen the film, check out the film and then go check out that soundtrack. I'm telling y'all, it's fire. Check it out. But continuing on with our best of, we got our best scare scene from the genre this year. So this was actually an interesting category, because we're kind of talking about this, right?
Yes.
We kind of felt like there was no films. Well, not no films, but there wasn't a lot of films that were like crazy scary this year.
Sure. Because like when you think about best scare scene, you think about the red-faced demon in Insidious,
Right. Yeah.
or the moment from Sinister when you see that lawnmower go across the deck yard.
Man, yeah.
So you have these kind of ideas of what you would expect to be the best scare sequence to occur on screen. And so like this year, I feel like there's nothing that's kind of like hit in those ways. So it was kind of like hard to have a lot to pick from,
Yeah, because there wasn't like a iconic
Yeah.
scare scene that came out of this year. There were still good ones,
There were
but
some good
none
ones.
that felt like iconic. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? But let's talk about these, right? So our runner-up for best scare scene goes to The First Omen, and it's the scene where Margaret's being held in this room. And it's I think you can see this scene in either a clip or a trailer that they put out. But there's a woman in the corner, kind of hidden in darkness, and she slowly becomes revealed a little bit. And that scene is so creepy, and it does end with a jump scare. It was just a creepy ass scene.
It was very creepy and definitely got me. So I think it was effective.
Yeah, it was very effective. That movie overall was very creepy, but that scene was like just the visual of that shot as you're looking at pure darkness, and it's slowly like it's almost like your eyes is adjusting to the darkness, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, I'm starting to make out like a shape, and then a human shape, and then just like the creepiness just keeps elevating.
Yeah.
Like it gives you this, like it don't feel right. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It's
that
super
whole movie
dope.
makes you feel that way.
Yeah, it does. It does. So that's our runner-ups best scare scene. But to us, the best scare scene of the year and the winner of our award for best scare scene goes to Oddity and the tent scene.
That shit was scary.
That jump scare is perfect, because it's almost like well, I won't get into specifics, but there's within that scene, if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. It's almost like 2 moments where like there's almost like a jump scare element to it. Like you have like a mini one.
Yeah.
As you know, the character's realizing something.
Right.
And then you have the climax hit where it's like boom, you know what I'm saying? And then it concludes with just like this like just messed up visual.
Yes.
But man, that scene is effective. Even on the rewatch. Like
even
when you rewatched it still got
me. Like, and it's funny because other people I've talked to have also said the same thing. Like, I already knew that this shit was about to happen, and I still got scared. It's just so suspenseful, and like the way that this director or writer, he did writing and directing,
I think so. Yeah.
Of the film. Like he builds on top. It's like a stacking
the tension like crazy,
and he does it so freaking well with this scene.
Yeah, that by far I think is the best scare scene of this year. Like, excuse me, even when we were making this category, we kind of already knew automatically. Like,
that's
Oddity.
gonna be that.
Like, yeah, and then we and then we had to determine what would be the runner-up because nothing was gonna beat that.
No.
But we also want to take a moment, y'all. So that's our best scare scene winner, Oddity with the tent scene. But we'll take a moment to just thank our supporters from this year. Yes. So all of our Patreon members and YouTube members, thank y'all so much for supporting us this year. It means a lot to us. We're very grateful for that support because that helps us be able to. And sorry, like I said, I'm sick. So my voice is getting all jacked up. And I'm trying not to cough in the mic too, but that affords us the ability to be able to, pay for some of the apps that we have to use. We're trying to save up to get even better equipment to make the show even better. But just the fact that you were compelled enough and really liked our content and liked us to even want to support us on a financial level is super dope. And trust us, we're so grateful for that. We got big plans for 2025 in terms of like membership, content. So be prepared. We're going to go hard next year with some dope 2025 content. And then of course, if you have ideas, if you're a member, whether it be on Patreon or YouTube memberships, if you got any ideas for the type of content that you'd like us to do on those platforms, let us know. Because we're going to try to just go as hard as we can for y'all. And we appreciate y'all support so much. Thank y'all.
Thank you. And even if you're not a Patreon member, those of you who watch our videos, comment on our videos, share our videos, we still thank you as well. Getting our videos out there helps us grow and reach new people that might not have found us without your help. So thank you to you as well. Yeah,
that engagement is so important, man. And look, we appreciate y'all so much for tuning in. Hey, look, whether you're on YouTube, Spotify podcast, Apple podcast, can we post our these things on podcast platforms as well? Hey, shout out to all of y'all. We appreciate y'all so much. It's gonna be 2025. It's gonna be big, y'all. It's gonna be big. But all right, y'all. Let's jump back to our top 10 list. We are now at our number 4 spot. We're getting real close. We're getting real close, y'all. This is where I think it's gonna start to get interesting because I feel like people are wondering, okay, what do they got at the top 4, top 3? And I feel like it's going to start to surprise people a little bit.
Oh, sure.
But, hey, look, number 4, it's got to be Exuma, y'all.
Exuma.
So this was a dope-ass Korean horror film coming from director Jang Jae-hyun. The cast, of course, we had Choi Min-sink, who played a geomancer. Then we had Yo Hae-jin, who played kind of like his partner in crime.
Yeah.
Then we had Lee Do-hyun, who's playing Bang Gil, who was like a shaman type dude. And then we had Kim Go-eun, who was playing kind of almost like a medium, so to speak, for her character, Warren. But this film is dope.
So good.
You're talking about some of the dopest concepts of the year. Dope, just creepy elements like cultural references, dope messaging, just concepts I wasn't even familiar with. I was like, gee, man, what is that? You know what I'm saying? It was the concepts were so high, and it's one of those films where it is a long film.
It is long.
I feel like that's the only reason why it's at the number 4 spot and not higher, because it is long. But man, you get so much story. You get to spend so much time with these characters. And it's one of those films where you get halfway through and it's almost like you watched the whole movie.
And then thought it was the end.
And then it goes.
Because it seems like it tells a story, but then there's a bigger story that this story is a part of. And so, we get that story. And then they're like, wait a minute, there's more to this. And so then we got a whole nother.
And it goes to a different level that I couldn't even fathom. I was like, oh shit. this is dope.
It was really well done, and the performances are amazing in this film. It feels like these are real people. Like,
It does. Yeah.
you spending time watching like one of those reality shows when you're following people who do this or something. That's what it feels like. Like these people legit do this for real.
Mhm.
But yeah, like you said, like there were some really great concepts. The cultural references were inbred in.
Yeah, the way they shot some of those like ritual scenes and stuff like that. Oh man,
cool.
that shit was so good.
The wardrobe design, like everything was just so detailed, and it made me want to go look up like the history of stuff.
Yeah, because
like,
a lot of
damn,
historical
like,
references.
I didn't remember learning about this in school type of thing, you know, like that's how impactful it was.
Yep.
And it was also very, very creepy.
Very creepy. Very creepy. Some dope kills in this one too. And just the visuals, man. I almost felt like anime level in certain aspects.
I agree with that. Yeah.
Like it was, man, if y'all haven't seen Exuma, check it out. I know some people get weird with subtitles.
Yeah.
Look, y'all gotta get over that. Y'all gotta get over it. Because you're gonna be missing out on a ton of films.
That's a good one, yeah.
And this was a really good film. Check out Exuma. That's got our number 4 spot. But all right, y'all. We're at our top 3.
Top 3.
The top 3, the big 3, the best 3 horror films of 2024. So our number 3 spot is Late Night with the Devil. This film was incredible, y'all. So it's coming from is it Carnes?
Yes. I think
The Carnes brothers, Cameron and Colin. And of course it's being led by David Dastmalchian, who's playing Jack Delroy. And this film was so dope because it was basically it was essentially a found footage film in the sense that you're watching almost like a lost episode of a 70s late night talk show. And man, was it just so well executed.
I agree. It felt like we were watching an episode of a late night TV show.
Legitimately, y'all.
David Dastmalchian. We've been fans of him, and it's been great to see him this past year kind of like get even more roles. But this is his first like lead role.
Yep.
And he did a great job as this TV show host who plays this guy who's obviously got some secrets, but you know, it gets crazy. Like
it gets real crazy.
So crazy. There's a lot of things that I didn't know were gonna be involved that happen and come out, and it gets kind of deep. But across the board, I thought the performances were really good. Like the different characters that are on the show during the episode, I think that they did a great job of representing what these characters would be like in real life.
The escalation of like what's happening. Like you start small, then it slowly like builds up. And I love how they built it up towards
I agree with
that big climax. And like I always say with found footage, right? Like it's all about the payoff. And this film has a massive payoff that I really liked.
Yeah.
And I also like how they incorporated like the behind the scenes type of footage. Like it was just super dope all the way around.
It was a great time.
And this was another film that came out earlier in the year, and it surprised a lot of people by how well it was made.
Yeah.
Definitely looking forward to whatever the Carnes brothers do next.
For sure.
But Late Night Devil, super dope. Hopefully we'll see more from David Dastmalchian in lead roles after such an incredible film like this.
I guarantee it. Also, Late Night with the Devil was our top review on YouTube, like video wise.
Oh, like views wise. Oh yeah, this was our first review to do like crazy numbers. Like we couldn't even believe the type of numbers we were getting for this. But yeah, so shout out to y'all who watched that review and like just helped us grow. Because we're still like a smaller channel and we're growing. But this was one of those films that helped propel us a little bit. But shout out to Late Night with the Devil taking our number 3 spot. That was a super dope film. All right, so taking a step to the side again to our best of categories. So now we're going to be taking a look at the best performance in horror.
And this was a very hard category.
It was.
We had a very hard time.
There
were some really great performances in horror this year. I can't believe how hard this was.
Yeah.
Even now looking at the list, I'm kind of like, we should have did like a top 3 or 4.
Yeah, because I mean, the performances across the board were that great.
They were so good.
But just like our other categories, y'all, we're going to talk about the runner-ups and then the winner. So first, runner-up, Lupita Nyong'o and A Quiet Place Day 1.
Yes.
First of all,
she definitely deserves it.
She killed it. And I'm actually really disappointed by the community not showing her the love for what she did in A Quiet Place Day One.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. She deserves way more recognition for her role.
Yeah.
This, we already talked about it, but she did an amazing job in this role.
Yeah.
I don't have anything else really to add to it. She just did exceptional. She's already a great actress, but I just feel like she tapped into like another level with this movie.
Yeah, like her character felt so relatable, felt so real.
Mm-hmm.
Even that moment where, you know, they're in that apartment and then she screams when the thunder hits, like out of nowhere, almost like a jump scare.
Yeah,
but
it's like really
it's just that
jarring.
raw emotion.
Yeah,
Her energy and her performance felt so raw.
it did.
And it was just an incredible performance.
She well deserved.
Oh yeah, 100%. But our winner, and we feel like this performance was just unmatched this year in horror, and that is Nell Tigerfree playing Margaret in The First Omen. She went crazy.
She did. She
Like
really
her like journey through that film
did. Yes, her
is insane.
is.
She went from
goes
playing this kind of like, you know, innocent, like
meek,
carefree
Mhm.
person to just getting involved with a lot of crazy shit to that scene that she had that was similar to, you know, the scene of possession from the 80s. Like that was probably the best like possession type of performance like I had seen in a long time. It was so effective. You want to talk about how it made you feel when we watched it
well,
that first
like you
time?
said earlier, like how you felt like something makes you feel wrong. Like that's how I felt too. Like
yeah.
I had like goosebumps and it like the hair on my back of my neck was standing
Mhm.
up. Like it was just, ugh. I was like, oh, I don't want to watch this no more.
And I think it came out right that some of the film set crew actually walked out
oh yeah,
because her
even they couldn't
performance was
watch
so like
it.
just otherworldly that
Yeah.
there was like I can't even handle looking at this because it just like your skin was crawling. Like
Yeah.
watching her do that scene, I was like, what the fuck? Like
yeah,
she was possessed for real.
She
like
really
I don't
did.
know how she tapped into that, but
she did a great
um,
job.
man, her journey and her arc in that film, like she killed it.
Yeah,
And that is by far the best performance in horror of 2024.
for us.
Yeah, for us. For us. And look, I already know they're gonna come for us in the comments.
I already
don't
know.
give a fuck. I know y'all gonna do it. They're gonna go ham. But what about such and such? You know what I'm saying?
What about this?
I already know it's gonna come.
Again, there were so many great performances in horror across the board, like amazing. But these were our top two.
This like and you know, as we get to our final two, you'll notice that some films are absent from our list, right? And look, this is how we felt. Because we don't bandwagon on shit.
Yeah.
We just don't do that. So this is legitimately the films and the performances, the stuff that we really liked.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But shout out to Nell Tigerfree playing Margaret in First Omen. You won our best performance in horror for 2024. Now let's go ahead and jump to our number 2 film.
Yeah.
This is the final two, man. This is where I feel like, I mean, I don't even know how I'm gonna do the chapters on this. Maybe I won't put the film title. I'll put like just number 2 so people can't just like off rip.
There you go.
But I feel like this is when the suspense is building, right? Because you're like, what's the number 1? What's the number 2? Well, look, number 2 film for us, y'all, is Alien Romulus.
Yeah.
Directed by Fede Alvarez. Of course, you had dope cast. You had is it Kaylee?
Yes.
Yeah, Kaylee Spaney, David Johnson, Archie Renault, Isabella Merced, Spike Fern, and Eileen Wu, who were playing the band of characters that end up getting entrapped on this space station with the xenomorphs.
Yes. I'm not a big Alien franchise person, but this movie was insane. Like we watched it at the IMAX and it was beautiful to watch. You could feel it in your chest. Like the audio was just insane.
Yeah.
The action was crazy. The kills were good. The freaking xenomorphs looked amazing on screen.
It looked incredible.
Like everything in this movie was it was top tier cinema.
It was cinema.
And it's funny because it's like, I'm not really into
It was
spectacles, but shit, this shit was good.
It was good. Like I was so like locked in. I was so immersed in the IMAX watching this film. Like, and it was just a beautiful film. Like, damn, there's some like just amazing scenes. Well, I won't get into specific stuff, but like, man, there are some incredible scenes in this film. Like you could just frame some of the scenes from the beautiful
Yeah.
camera work in this film.
And the performances were really good, but my favorite obviously was David Johnson as Andy, another person who kind of like has a character arc, and it's done so well. He was a standout character for me. I think he did well, but also the other characters did well too.
Oh yeah.
They all had some really great moments within the film. Kaylee Spaney as Rain, I thought she did great as well.
Yeah, she did.
Isabella Merced, I think she has some really good moments. There's this crazy ass moment that happens later on in the film with her, and she did an amazing job with that. But overall, like everyone did a great job, and it was a great film from beginning to end.
The audio was incredible, and sometimes they would use no audio at all, which also
I love those moments.
Yeah,
that's just smart filmmaking. You don't always need to have something going on like in audio wise, but it was good.
They got super creative with the xenomorph acid blood and some of the sequences with that. The face huggers felt super smart in this film. It's the face huggers felt more scary than they ever been. I was like, scary.
And those
shit,
bitches was fast. Oh my God, they were so freaking fast. I was like, why are they so fast? Like dumb fast and just brutal. Like this shit was so brutal
and super nasty. Of course, like a lot of like, just like with the previous films, a lot of like reproductive type of messaging in there, especially with some of the practicals with the big, vagina looking cocoon stuff. Then of course, face huggers have always had that. Like, and this is the first time we actually seen the face hugger like meat trying to go into the mouth. And
spoilers.
No. You know what I'm trying to say?
I know what you're referring to, though.
I'm saying the first time we actually seen
in my head.
Yeah. But I think it's in the trailer too. Anyway.
Oh, it might be. Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually in the trailer. One of the greatest quotable lines of the year too. There's something in the water.
It's funny because people be saying that.
People say it all the time. I'll be saying it still around the house sometimes. Yeah. I don't know, but there's something in the water. But man, Alien Romulus was just an incredible film. Like, I've loved all of Fede Alvarez's other films, and I was hoping he was going to hit with this, and he did. And I think they're already like scoping out for another Alien film already. Like this brought Alien back on the map, and like I don't know what they're going to do from here. Of course, they got that television series from FX coming, Alien Earth, coming out 2025. Excited to see what that's all about. But this basically did for the Alien franchise what Prey did for Predator, where people got like rehyped on Predator after Prey. People got rehyped on Alien Romulus.
Movie, by the way.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. But shout out to Fede Alvarez and the team for Alien Romulus. That's our number 2 best horror film of the year. All right, y'all. So look, before we get to our number 1, we wanted to do one more best of category. And it wouldn't be like a horror showcase without having a best kill in horror film 2024, y'all.
Yes.
You got to have that category with any type of horror showcase. And there was a lot of like crazy
There were some good
kills.
Good kills this year. We had a tough time with this one as well.
Yeah. And I want to mention one that it's not a runner-up, but like there's just
the Winnie the Pooh one.
Yeah, the creative like shit that went on this year in terms of kills. Like it's not a runner-up or a winner, but I gotta mention the one in Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 2. I think it was Pooh threw a bear trap, ripped somebody's head off, and then fucking hit that shit like a baseball and explode. Like, how do you come up with that type of shit? Like
Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 2 was actually a very surprising film too, as well. Just note, if you haven't seen that, definitely give it a shot.
There's a crazy amount of kills in that film. That's a film where you will have a good time.
Absolutely.
You will have a good time. But look, so best kill 2024 horror. Runner up. Inviolate Nature, the yoga scene.
Yeah. You kind of had to give that one.
That shit was so crazy.
It was really crazy.
It was so over the top.
If you watch this movie in the theater with people.
Oh, yeah.
Like, all you hear is, like, that's all you hear.
That's all you hear. Because it's like the scene itself kept elevating.
Yes.
They kept taking it further and further.
I was like, what the heck?
Yeah.
It's just insanely crazy. Like,
and
who thought of this?
I don't know how they thought of that, but I'm telling you right now, if you haven't seen the yoga scene, it's some shit you've never seen ever.
Never seen
kill wise in a horror movie ever in your life.
It'll
change your life. It'll change your life. You're like, damn, I didn't even think that somebody could think of something like that in terms of a kill scene. But of course, that film was directed by Chris Nash. Unfortunately, I feel like the whole film doesn't live up to that particular scene.
No.
But I appreciate what they're trying to do with that film, and there was a lot of dope kills. There was a lot of dope kills in that movie, but that yoga scene by far is some of the best shit that we've ever seen. But there's got to be only one winner.
There's only one.
Only one winner, y'all. And the winner for best kill in a horror film in 2024 has got to go to Terrifier 3 in the shower scene.
That scene was ridiculous.
That scene, like, I ain't never seen no shit like that either.
No. And this was one of the films that were on our list for best practical effects because they were really
They were really
done.
good. Yeah, really
but
good.
balls to the wall, insane with this particular scene.
Man, like, of course, leading up to Terrifier 3, right? People are already talking about the shower scene. Oh, the shower scene. So even before we watched it.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
People were talking about that, man. And that shit is insane. Like, I don't.
So you kind of already had in your mind to prepare for this. So I didn't. I was just like, this is crazy.
Yeah, because I feel like I remember seeing people mention it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, they wait till you get to this scene.
So you were waiting for that.
Yeah, I was waiting for that scene to pop up, and it delivers. Like,
yeah,
it's Art the Clown with a chainsaw going absolutely ham.
It's ridiculous.
And I won't say what exactly happens, but I don't think I ever thought I would see that on screen.
No, that's another one where it goes to a certain level and then it goes to more, some more. And it's just like, what the heck?
Yeah. And I'm just like, yeah, this Terrifier 3 is exactly what I wanted it to be in terms of like the kill factor.
Yeah.
It's over the top.
It's very much
Art is having the time of his life.
He is.
And there's some other scenes in Terrifier 3 too, like the fucking rat one with the pipe.
Oh,
like,
yes.
I was like, Damien Leone, man, that dude, he got a sick mind in the best kind of way.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I don't know how he thought some shit like that, but I'm hoping that Terrifier 4 can go even beyond Terrifier 3. I don't know what he gonna come up with to surpass Terrifier 3 in terms of kill scenes, but Terrifier 3, that shower scene by far is the best kill scene of 2024 in a horror film, y'all. So shout out to them. All right. So here we are. Top spot. The best horror film of 2024. Our number one. And again, this is our number one. Right. This is our number one. And this is a film came out earlier in the year.
Mm-hmm.
And when we saw this film, it was the first moment in 2024 where we were like, holy shit, that is a horror movie.
Mm-hmm.
That is what a horror movie is right there.
Mm-hmm.
And it is. The First Omen.
The First Omen.
Coming from director Arkasha Stevenson. Of course, we already talked about Nell Tiger's incredible performance as Margaret. But you had her friend, I forgot the friend's name precisely. Is it like Luz or Luz? Played by Maria Caballero. Father Brennan, of course, played by our boy Ralph Ineson. That dude is so dope. I love him. I love any movie he's in. I love his performance. But this movie was something special. First of all, if I had to pick like my favorite trailer of 2024,
AJ watched the mess out of this trailer.
How many times watched that trailer?
100 times. I mean, obviously we watched it in theater, but then you still like every time you saw it, you were like, "Oh, yeah!" Like, you were hyped every time it
leading
came
up
on.
to this film coming out. Every time we saw it in the theater, and the trailer came on, and that music came on. I'm like, "Oh shit, here we go!" Because like I've never had a horror trailer make me feel the way that horror trailer made me feel, and obviously I was concerned. I was like, "Yo, this horror trailer is getting under my skin."
Yeah.
Can the movie live up to it?
Can the movie live up to
it?
It does.
It delivered.
It does.
This movie is creepy as hell. It's graphic. It's a prequel, and a lot of people were nervous, including us.
Yes.
Nervous that the fact it's a prequel to establish
amazing IP, by the way.
Yeah, amazing IP. A classic horror film, and you're like, can it live up to it? And it does. I feel like this is a film that honors and respects the legacy of the film that it leads into. The way it leads into it is incredible.
Yes. This movie has my favorite opening of the year. Like, it's perfect. The music, the visuals.
Mm-hmm.
This is Arkasha Stevenson's first feature
film? It might be, I think.
I believe it is. And she does an amazing job. Like, so well done. And like you said, it honors the legacy of the film, the franchise, I think, very well. The story makes sense. Like, of course, I have like small nitpicks about the story.
You nitpick every movie.
Yeah, you can. But outside of that, it's flawless.
It's flawless.
It's a flawless film.
Like, and then the fact that it was borderline NC-17 and they fought to keep that scene in there.
Yeah.
Like, we ain't never seen no shit like that in a horror movie. Like, it is just crazy. Man, and just the things that it deals with, of course, again,
I told you.
reproductive messaging.
All across my board right here.
Yep.
Repo horror was top tier this year. I think it was needed, with all the stuff that's happening in our country and stuff like that. But it was amazing. It
was just like, man, we already mentioned the performance, that possession scene,
the scary
the pacing, all the scares, and some of the way that some of those scares are revealed. There's a certain like scene that involves, car accident. You remember that one?
Oh God, yes.
And even some of the even some of those like creative, more like artistic visuals. Like you almost have these like dream like sequences where like she's seeing, something, but it's referencing something that's happened, but she ain't, but man, and then when you think that they might not actually show like stuff. They show stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like in terms of the ritual aspect of stuff, you're just like, oh, like we really getting this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's a horror movie, man. Like it makes you feel wrong. Like you feel weird coming out of that theater in the best kind of way where you're like, it's thought provoking and it just makes you want more of the Omen. You know what I'm saying? Of course, I feel like they can't really do more.
Because we need a continuation. I need to know.
I don't know if you can. Well, maybe you could.
We're gonna have
maybe
to
you
have
could.
I need Stevenson to be writing, or whoever wrote. Y'all need to be continuing the story. I need.
But man, the way it leads into the first film is like perfect. Like, and then of course the theme, the what is it? I forgot how you say it. The Arne Sitani theme. Like I was hoping it would hit, and it hit the perfect moment. I was like, oh, there's our theme. That joke is fire. I almost had this as a runner-up as a best score, but unfortunately, there's just so many good ones. But but the audio in this film is like, all those like operatic, like like that type of stuff. That's you're just like, oh, like that junk just make you feel like just it's disturbing. You know what I'm saying? Like in the best kind of way. This is just incredible film, incredible journey. The pacing is amazing. Just all the things you go through in this film, all the things you experience, all the emotion. All the messaging, just everything about this film, and just the sheer horror of it. Like, this is a horror movie. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what I'm talking about. Like, and I'll never forget how we felt coming out of the theater. Was like, damn. Yeah. Like, 2024 about to go stupid if horror films are hitting like this. You know what I mean?
And we're also like, this is our bag. Like, we like
religious horror. True.
I know a lot of people don't, but this is. I could live off of this subgenre. So this is definitely like our pocket when it comes to horror films.
100%.
So that's probably why we have it like number one, because it's literally our favorite. Speaks to us. Yeah. It definitely speaks to us. So, but I think it hit on all cylinders.
It hit
and
on
it
every
deserves
cylinder.
to be number one.
It hit on every single cylinder. Like I don't have like too many complaints at all. Like it's like it was one of our 5-star ratings. Like is because we do 5 out of 5 over here on In Love with Horror. But it was just an incredible film. Like I was just so taken aback by how incredible it was. And even rewatching it, I was just like, damn, like this is just a good ass horror movie. And from even just the scare aspect, but then the artistic vision. Like it has that element to it. Obviously it's paying homage to those 70s, the was it the GIO or however you say it, like the Italian horror, just everything from Suspiria, different vibes like that. Like the camera work, just like it's just an incredible film.
Yeah, it is.
Like damn, it's amazing. But yeah, y'all definitely if you haven't seen The First Omen, which if you're watching this, you've probably seen it. But if you haven't, you gotta watch it. I think this is what we think. This is the best horror film of 2024. The First Omen. So shout out to Akarsha Stevenson and that the cast, the production crew, everything. Y'all made an incredible film with The First Omen. And I can't wait to see what she does next. But shout out to The First Omen. But that's it. That is our top 10 best horror films of 2024, along with some of the best of categories that we chose as well. Now, I'm looking at the notes here. You had like a special things category. I don't know what you wanted to do with that. If I don't like you added that piece, but I wasn't sure what you
I
wanted to
don't
do with that.
know.
Okay, we'll skip that part. But yeah, y'all, it was an incredible year for 2024. I think horror was.
I know.
Oh.
Sorry. Now I remember. A special thank you to people who we've collaborated with over the course of the year.
Yeah.
Different directors who we got a chance to sit down with. We did a lot of those discussions with a couple different directors and
we did
performers as well, from different movies like Mr. Crockett, Godless.
Yeah, that God conversation was dope.
Yeah. What was the name? I forgot the name of Older Gods. Was it called Older Gods?
Oh, Older Gods.
Yeah. Did I? So we had a lot of amazing people come through our channel this year, and so we just wanted to thank you as well.
For the collaboration, to give us the opportunity to actually sit down and talk to y'all. It's because like sometimes I'm still shocked by like the stuff that we get a chance to do, just because I feel like we're so small, and I'm just like, holy shit, like we're getting to talk to so and so or whatever. It's just super dope.
Some really great opportunities this year. But yeah, and then people who've had us on their channels, thank you as well. Getting exposure to other channels. So yeah, it was a great year all around.
All around, it was a dope year. Not only in horror films, but for our channel as well. But but ultimately, like I feel like horror was definitely winning this year, and as you can see at this point now, there's certain films missing off our top 10 that people really love that we just weren't as big on. But the fact that people had films that they really loved really shows the breadth of the genre this year. That people had so many different films that they were like, oh, I love this one. I love this one. Like there was films for everybody within the genre, within those subgenres of horror. I feel like it was hitting across the board. And I feel like it was a dope year for horror. And, we've done a most anticipated list. We did 15 of our most anticipated horror films of 2025 up on our YouTube channel and Spotify and Apple Podcasts already checked out. Check out that discussion if you haven't seen it yet. But I feel like 2025 is going to be another dope year, potentially. And I'm sure there's going to be more films that we don't know about that might come. But just based off that list, I'm like, oh man, we could have another like dope ass year for horror. And I feel like horror is winning. We love horror. We love the community. We're just excited to continue, to add our, opinions to the community and collaborate with the community and just, love on horror, talk about horror. Like that's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about. Babe, look, y'all, thank you so much. If you made it to the end of this discussion, thank you so much for joining us as we, talk about what a dope ass year for horror it was in 2024 and talk about, our favorite films of this year. But please let us know, what were your favorite films of 2024? Drop those down in the comments. Then also for each of our best of categories, drop down what was your like best of, like what was your best performance, what was your best kill, what was your best scare scene. We want to hear what you think down in the comments as well, and we'll try to respond to those. But we always love reading the comments to see what the community is thinking. But hey, look, we appreciate y'all so much for tuning into this whole video. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you for checking out our other videos and content throughout 2024. We'll be back. This is our last video of 2024, so we'll be back strong in 2025, doing the reviews, doing the reactions, doing all types of shit in 2025. We're going to go super hard. We're excited for 2025, just, for our channel as well as horror films in general. But we hope that you subscribe and join us on the journey as we go into 2025. We start, January is notorious for terrible horror films. You just look back at this year. I won't name names, but just look back at this year. You know what I'm saying? A little rough. But hopefully that's not the case for January 2025, because there's a lot of big hitters coming in 2025, like Wolfman Companion and stuff like that. But hopefully you'll be subscribed so you can see our reviews for those films starting fresh in January 2025. But look, y'all, we love y'all so much. We appreciate y'all. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you on 2025. We out. Peace.